A couple of videos ago, I was talking about a time in my life when I went through something called deconstruction. And when I was questioning everything that I believed and everything I was taught up until then. Now, after I deconstructed and I started reminiscing on my time during that era of everything that I went through and all the mistakes that I made, a feeling set in. And we all know what that feeling is. It's regret. When I really thought about my behavior during those times, not only towards like friends, but towards family and towards women in my life. The way that I spoke to some of them, the way that I was dismissive of some of them, it really bugged me in my head because I went through a time of called reminiscing and I reminisced a lot. It had actually caused me to lose some sleep because I thought myself as a better person. When I realized that I did these things and I realized that at that time I was not the person that I thought I was. It really hit me like a ton of bricks. I treated people this way. What type of friend is that? I treated my mom this way. What type of son is that? I treated my dad this way. It was really tough to deal with because reminiscing on the past and ruminating on it and just keep thinking about it over and over and over and over, it can cause like major problems. It cause anxiety, depression. It even can cause overcorrection, which I went through as well. A lot of times you go through rumination. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would know what I'm talking about when you think about the past and you think about those things and it just stays in your head. You just can't not stop thinking about it. That time in rumination in my life is when I was thinking about not just the regrets that I did when I was deconstructing, but the regrets that I had even before that. There were times before that when I also made mistakes in my behavior and mistakes in my beliefs. When I thought about it again, when I see that I'm not too close with these people anymore, when I see that there are certain people that are distant from my life, and I thought back on my behavior not only during deconstruction but before that, I could see why those people didn't want to be close to me anymore. And again, this hit me like a ton of bricks because I thought myself as a better person. We all kind of tend to think of ourselves as the hero of our own story. But one thing that we don't realize is that we may be the hero of our own story, but many times we're the villain in someone else's. And I saw that in many of these times, I was probably the villain, or I was definitely the villain. That hurt. No, it didn't hurt me to the point where my feelings are hurt, but it bruised my ego. It bruised my sense of self. And regret can do that. Regret can definitely do that. Regret can definitely make you kind of lose your sense of self. But I also realized something else. Regret is good. Many people live through life saying that there are no regrets, just lessons. But if you don't regret, you never learned a lesson. If you don't regret, you never actually grew from the pain that you caused, or you never grew from the mistakes that you made. You have to regret. If you don't have that regret in you, that means that you have less empathy as a person. One thing about the slogan, there are no regrets, just lessons, it doesn't mean that you took the lesson in a good way. Because yeah, I can learn my lesson, but the lesson that I might have took from it is that I shouldn't have manipulated this person this way. I should have manipulated her that way. The lesson that you should take from that is I should not be manipulating people, but you can only get that if you have regret. We're going through a time right now, I think, in society where just being a nasty person is somehow seen as funny. And I'm not sure what that is. We're seeing that a lot today with a lot of content creators finding humor in either causing others pain or just being nasty to people. It made me think, do these people not have regret? Have these people never caused pain to somebody else and regretted that? And from what I'm seeing, from online and society and how we're operating nowadays, people really don't have regrets anymore, or people are staying away from having that feeling, and it's leading to a situation where people have less empathy and are seeing manipulative behavior and toxic actions as somehow funny or attractive, or even worse, as normal. But if you're going through a time in your life where you're ruminating and you're having a large sense of regret with everything that you did, and it's causing you to be depressed, even if you've gone past that stage, the advice that I would give is that you need to accept. You cannot go back. Time marches forward. If you can reconcile with the people that you've wronged, do it. It hurts. It is going to hurt your ego. It is going to feel embarrassing. But if you can reconcile with somebody because you regretted how you did them, how you treated them, or some other reason, do it. If the person does accept your apology or your attempt of reconciliation, but does not want to reconcile with you and wants to keep their distance, that's something you also have to accept. Don't get angry because they have every right. The only thing you can do is keep up the good work and change them. That's all you can do. But I want everybody to remember something. Regret is good. Regret means that you did something wrong, you made a mistake, and you're gonna learn to do better. Always keep that feeling in your head, but don't ruminate. Things do get better, you get better, and time moves forward. That's just my thoughts on that. I do want to know what y'all think. Always remember that dark is beautiful. Peace and love, people.